Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. Council members, please come to the dais. Thank you.
Roll call. Council President Morrell.
Here.
Vice President Willard. Councilmember McCarron. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember King. Councilmember Green.
Here.
Councilmember Hughes. We have 5 members. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. First up, we have the invocation, which will be done by Pastor Berryhill. Come on down, Pastor Berryhill.
Let us pray. Most holy, gracious God, we thank you and we bless your name on today. Come now, Lord, lifting up our city to you. Pray now, Lord, that you would strengthen it, that you would build it up on every weak and leaning side. We pray for this council, Lord. We pray that you would touch their minds, hearts, that they would make right decisions for our city. We pray for this meeting even today, Lord, that it may be a blessing to this city. And we be so careful to give you praise, honor, and glory. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. The pledge of allegiance will be done by Councilmember Green.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, play ball.
Consent agenda. We have a communication from Aaron Spears. This may be received. We have a communication from Darlene M. Jacobs, JD, 823 through 825 Atlantic Avenue. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a communication from Ron Lazo, 6309 through 6311 South Claiborne Avenue. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a communication from Ron Lazo, 6307 through 6309 South Miro Street. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a communication from Ron Lazo, 3100 Calhoun Street. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a communication from Jeffrey E. Swartz. This may be received and referred to the Community Development Committee. We have a communication from Jill Sussman, 1413 Columbus Street, Apartments A and B. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a communication from Bonnie Porter, 4308 North Rampart Street and 4310 North Rampart Street. This may be received. Hearing date 5/7/26. We have a reporter, Kaya Howard. This may be received. We have a reporter, Jennifer Avegno. This may be received. We have a reporter, Leanne Crowley. This may be received. We have a reporter, Cassandra B. Robert. This may be received. We have a reporter, Vanita Curran, which is being withdrawn. We have ordinance calendar 35,392 by Councilmember McCarron, municipal address 3201 Orleans Avenue, zoning docket 326. We have ordinance calendar 35,393 by Councilmember Morrell, zoning docket 626. We have ordinance calendar 35,394 by Councilmember King, zoning docket 726. We have ordinance calendar 35,395 by Councilmember Harris, municipal address 3329 Magazine Street, zoning docket 926. We have ordinance calendar 35,396 by Councilmember Harris, 4200 Erado Street, zoning docket 1326. We have ordinance calendar 35,405 by Council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,406 by Council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,407 by Council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,408 by Council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,409 by Council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,410 by council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal notes received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,411 by council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,412 by council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal notes received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,413 by council members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, and King by request. Fiscal note was received. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,421 by council member Harris by request. Budget committee recommended approval. We have ordinance calendar 35,422 by council members Morrell, Willard, McCarron, King, and Hughes. Utilities, Cable, Telecommunication, and Technology Committee and Climate Change and Sustainability Committee recommended approval. We have motion line over M2682 by Councilmember Harris. Budget Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26142 by Councilmember Harris by request. Budget Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26143 by Councilmember Harris by request. Budget Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26144 by Councilmembers Willard, McCarron, King, and Hughes by request. Public Works Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26145 by council members Willard, McCarron, King, and Hughes by request. Public Works Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26147 by council member Willard. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26148 by council member Hughes. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26149 by council member Harris. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have resolution R26-150 by council members McCarron, Morrell, Willard, Green, and Hughes. Utility, Cable, Telecommunication, Technology Committee, and Climate Change and Sustainability Committee recommended approval. We have resolution R26-151 by councilmember Morrell. Utility, Cable, Telecommunication, Technology, Climate Change, and Sustainability Committee recommended approval. We have resolution R26-152 by councilmember Morrell. Utility, Cable, Telecommunication, Technology, Climate Change, and Sustainability Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26156 by Councilmember McCarron by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs recommended approval. We have motion M26157 by Councilmember King by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26158 by Councilmember McCarron by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26159 by Councilmember King by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26160 by Councilmember Willard by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26161 by Councilmember Hughes by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26162 by Councilmember Hughes by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26163 by Councilmember King by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26164 by Councilmember King by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26165 by Councilmember King by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have motion M26166 by Councilmember Green by request. Question that was received. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. This is all matters on consent agenda.
Thank you. First up, we have Ms. Susan Johnson, who wants to speak on consent items 3, 4, and 5.
How much time do I get, please?
2 minutes.
Okay. Susan Johnson, 2822 LePage Street, Town of Carrollton Watch. I'm not paid to be here. In the search for an explicit statement about the zoning of the Frost Top dorm, I have filed zoning verification requests for this project because the developer did not. So Tulane University is ostensibly providing a dorm in HU1 HUB1 zoning where dorms are prohibited. Because the project is off campus, they don't have to amend their master plan. And now we're hearing from Council District A that the zoning is actually classified as above the ground floor dwelling, which means living above the shop. That's how this policy was initially sold to the public in late 2021 or early 2022, with the image of mom and pop living above the shop. The goal is to allow for an increase in density in historic neighborhoods. In the university area, that usually means building private dorms. So the inclusion of Ted's Frost Top or some other retailer is essential to the project, acting as a delivery system for multifamily housing in the zoning, where the only multifamily normally allowed would be the fourplex. Social media has seized upon this idea of stacking students above retail. So we have from Stein's Deli, the creation of Stein's Commons, expanding student living into the Lower Garden District, and then Snake and Jake's Housing, demolish the bar, keep the vibe. Anyway, these zoning verification requests can serve as the basis for a legal challenge to the zoning. Thank you.
Thank you. I see no further comments on the consent agenda. Councilman Green has moved. I will second. Please vote your machines. 5 yeas, 6 yeas, no nays. The consent agenda is adopted.
Okay. We have a communication under suspension. We need to vote to receive.
I'll move. Second by Councilmember King. All in favor? I think we're glitching out. Say aye. Aye. 7 yeas, no nays. The communication is received.
We need to vote to add to the agenda.
I will move, seconded by Councilmember Hughes. Any opposed? Hearing none, we have 7 yeas, no nays. The matter is added to the agenda.
We have a communication from Jessica C. Dumas. This may be received, hearing date 5/7/26.
All right.
Regular agenda. You ready? All right. We have at the top of page 20, items 1 and 2, legislative group and communication from Winston Foray has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. At the top of page 21, we have demo application of Olivier Enterprise LLC is being withdrawn. We have item 4, HDLC appeal of Ron Lazo has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. Item 5, HDLC appeal of Veronica Reed has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. At the top of page 22, item 6, HDLC appeal of Susan Johnson has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. At the bottom of page 22, we have item 7, legislative grouping, HDLC of Susan Johnson, Town of Carrollton Watch, Jeffrey Bernard, President of Maple Area Residents, Inc., and Gordon Marcus, Mark London, requesting to appeal the HDLC Commission decision to approve the application for demolition for property located at 7310 Ferret Street. At the top of page 23, item A, we have motion M26-153 by Councilmember McCarron, denying the applicant's request challenging the HDLC's approval of the application for demolition of the single-family building located at 7310 Ferret Street, and the demolition is approved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. HDLC?
Thank you. Due to the non-contributing status, lack of architectural or social significance, the staff had no objection to the request for demolition to grade. At their hearing of March 11, 2026, the Commission reviewed photos of the structure and the staff report. The Commission then voted to approve the demolition. The HDLC does not have jurisdiction over the use of structures or the design of new construction in the Uptown Partial Control Local Historic District. Staff respectfully requests that the City Council uphold the decision of the Historic District Landmarks Commission.
Thank you. Okay, I've got 2 comment cards on this one. Susan Johnson, followed by Leah O'Donnell.
Susan Johnson, 2822 LePage Street, Town of Carrollton Watch. I am not paid to be here. I am one appellant, and I'm also representing another appellant, Mari Neighborhood Organization. As we know, this property is seriously blighted. The problem is the developer who proposes to demolish and redevelop it is a dorm developer, and he has Endeavor Partners LLC. We hear that he's promised to stick to his plans, but no plans have been proposed. This developer, Endeavor Partners, and its affiliate, Le Bon Temps Ventures, have a long history of violations in the university area. It's extensively documented in the appeal letters. They've been trying to remedy the violations in the past 2 weeks in the run-up to this appeal, paying a $24,000 HDLC fine from 3 years ago and finally getting a certificate of occupancy for 7417 Buth, which has been rented out for over 2 years. But this COO should not have issued because the BZA told them to remove the paving in the front yard, and they didn't. I'm omitting a lot, but it's all on the record, including the half-demolished building at 1530 Broadway, unbraced and idle for 3 months and ready to collapse like their other dorm property at 1808 Lower Line collapsed 2 years ago. So if they tell you something, please get it in writing. Please get a good neighbor agreement for the last owner on this block. Everything else is D to Ds or private dorms. Developers, we know they tell you one thing, they don't keep your promises. I have an example of this happen to a council member. Please.
Thank you, Susan. Leah O'Donnell.
Leah O'Donnell, 1816 Hillary Street. I'm the neighbor of 1808 Lower Line, the property that collapsed 2 years ago. It's owned by an affiliate of Endeavor Properties. The Lower Line development has had a negative impact on our neighborhood. The developers remain in violation with no healthy home certificate or certificate of occupancy at 1808 Lower Line, 1809 Hillary, even though it's been rented for 2 years. And I ask that the city holds the developers accountable whenever they're proposing new developments. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, okay, the interior of this home was unfortunately ruined by hoarding and before the previous owner tragically died inside. There are rats, bugs, feral cats now occupy it. It is a nuisance and a health hazard to neighbors. There are no current plans to redevelop the lot. The landowner has discussed rebuilding a single or two-family home in its place, though there are no redevelopment plans at the moment. I understand neighbors' concerns about this property, but this house at this point is a health hazard and significantly impacting the direct neighbor's quality of life. Therefore, I move to deny the appeal and grant the demolition and approve motion M26-153. So with that, I'll motion. Seconded by Councilmember King. 7 yeas, no nays. Thank you very much.
We have item 9, HDLC appeal of Susan Johnson has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. We have zoning docket 2126 has been deferred to the meeting of June 4th. At the top of page 24, item 11, we have legislative group and zoning docket 2526, Rouse Land Company, requesting a text amendment to amend Article 24 of the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance to create permissions, size restrictions, and other regulations for detached signage that extends over driveways or entry-exit points to a site in zoning districts, including an MU1 medium-intense mixed-use district. The proposed text amendment would affect regulations that are applied in the MU1 medium-intensity mixed-use district. The recommendation of the CPC being for denial. We have motion M26-170 by Councilmember McCarron, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 2526, subject to the modifications as considered by the Commission staff report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC?
Good morning. The request was prompted by the applicant's desire to install a detached sign for the Rouse's grocery store that is located on North Carrollton Avenue in Mid-City. The proposal is prompted by site-specific conditions. We have an atypically large lot with a grocery store that is set back far away from the right-of-way, even though the MU1 district is meant to support development that is normally near or on the property line with minimal setbacks and a strong emphasis on walkability. The Planning Commission's position is that allowing pole-like or entryway signage in this context would introduce auto-oriented elements that are inconsistent with these objectives. Further, CPC generally does not support crafting regulations that tailor to a specific property or a small number of property, and instead seeks to maintain clarity and simplicity within the CZO and create regulations that are supported by a demonstrated citywide need. While the staff identified some alternative approach in the report that could allow the applicant to achieve a similar design outcome, the staff ultimately recommended denial, and the Commission voted to deny the request, citing that while they were not against the signage at this specific location, it had concerns about the broader implications of a potentially undesirable signage type across the proposed zoning district.
Thank you. And I have one comment card from Jack Gremion.
Jack Gremion, 1609 Corbin Road, Hammond, Louisiana, 70403. We're in favor of this sign being installed. We've had quite a bit of feedback from Rouse's about customers that are familiar with the area having trouble finding location, and so what we came up with the design on the sign between the columns was very consistent with the other signs are in the area, and also the old Archway sign that was there from a previous grocery store is very similar to what we're proposing. So we think if people who are not familiar with the area are trying to access this area, it'll give them a little clearer insight of where they enter and exit, and hopefully avoid any problems with entering Carrollton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members, first I want to thank CPC staff for working with my office to fine-tune this text amendment. We put significant limits on where these signs can be installed, catering to large development sites with either MU1 or MU2 zoning. The sites must also be more than 3 acres in size, consist of 1 or more squares, and require structures to be set back at least 300 feet from the property line. These signs are limited to 20 feet and 75 square feet in their total size. They can only use freestanding letters or logos, and you can only have 1 driveway entry sign per site. These specifications will allow the Carrollton Rouse's to establish an archway sign on the existing brick columns. Are there any questions from the dais? Okay, therefore with that, I motion to approve M26 170. Seconded by Councilmember King. Six yeas, no nays. Thank you very much.
Councilmember, you need to vote as well.
7. Thank you.
At the bottom of the page, item 13, legislative group and zoning docket 2726, 1039, Constance LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a hotel in the CBD3 Cultural Arts District in the Transient Lodging Interim Zoning District, located on Square 137, Lot C in the First Municipal District, bounded by Constance Street, Preferred Street, John Churchill Chase Street, and Magazine Street. Municipal address 1039 Constance Street. The recommendation of the CPC being for approval subject to 2 provisos. At the top of page 25, we have motion M26 171 by Councilmember Harris approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 2726 subject to 2 provisos and modifying the first proviso.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC, will you brief us on your report?
Yes, this is a site that was previously operated as a short-term rental, and the applicants proposed to convert the site into a hotel with no alteration or addition to the facade or the building footprint. While hotels are normally permitted by right in the CBD3 district, they require conditional use approval within this transient lodging interim zoning district. Generally, CPC found that the request is consistent with the master plan, suitable for the primarily commercial neighborhood, and will not displace any existing long-term housing and instead will introduce a lodging use that supports local commerce. All of those standards are in the IZD standards. Anyway, therefore, the staff is recommending approval, subject to those two provisos.
Thank you. This motion approves a conditional use to permit a 9-unit hotel. 4 units have 3 bedrooms and 5 units have 2 bedrooms. As CPC said, the site is currently developed as a 4-story commercial building. I've modified CPC's proviso to exclude any short-term rentals from this location. This proposal received support at its neighborhood participation meeting and the CPC hearing without any recorded opposition. Richard Cortizes, do you want to speak? He's in favor of it. I will move. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 7 yeas. Thank you.
Item 15, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 2826, 521 St. Joseph LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a hotel in the CBD 6 Urban Core Neighborhood Intensity Mixed-Use District in the Transient Lodging Interim Zoning District located on Square 161, Lot 6 in the 1st Municipal District, bounded by St. Joseph Street, Camp Street, Julia Street, and Magazine Street. Municipal address 521 St. Joseph Street. The recommendation of the CPC being for approval, subject to 2 provisos. We have motion M26-1782 by Councilmember Harris, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 2826, subject to 2 provisos, modifying the first proviso.
Thank you. CPC, will you brief us on your report?
Yes, this is a very similar request to the previous one. It's a site that's currently developed with a 2.5-story residential structure that was previously operated as a short-term rental. And the applicant is proposing to convert this building into a 4-unit hotel. For the same reason as the previous one, the fact that the site is located within a mostly commercial area, staff finds that the proposal meets the master plan, the CZO, and the IZD standards, and CPC recommended approval.
Thank you. As before, I've modified CPC's proviso to exclude any short-term rentals at this location in the future. This proposal received support at its NPP meeting and did not receive any opposition at the CPC hearing. I have 1 public comment from Richard Cortizes. Do you wish to speak? He does not. He's in favor of it. I move. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 7 yeas. Thank you.
At the top of page 26, we have item 17, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 2926, 527 St. Joseph LLC, requesting a conditional use to permit a hotel in the CBD 5 Urban Core Neighborhood Lower Intensity Mixed-Use District in the Transient Lodging Interim Zoning District located on Square 161, Lots 1 and 2 in the 1st Municipal District, bounded by St. Joseph Street, Camp Street, Magazine Street, and Julia Street. Municipal address 527 St. Joseph Street. The recommendation of the CPC being for approval, subject to 2 provisos. We have motion M26-173 by Councilmember Harris, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 2926, subject to 2 provisos and modifying the first proviso.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC, will you provide your report?
This one is an approximately 19,000 square foot, 4-story mixed-use building. Not only is the site in a CBD 5 district, which only allows hotel with a conditional use, it's also like the 2 other ones located in a citywide transit lodging interim zoning district. Again, since this site is in the CBD in a mixed-use neighborhood and a reuse of a commercial building, CPC finds that the proposed use is appropriate at this location and recommends approval, subject to 2 provisos.
Thank you. And we have modified CPC's proviso to exclude short-term rentals from existing at this location in the future. The proposal received support at its NPP meeting and did not receive any opposition at the CPC hearing. With that, I will move. Mr. Cortizes is in support, does not wish to speak. Seconded by Councilmember King. 7 yeas. Thank you all.
At the bottom of page 26, we have item 19, zoning docket 3126 is deferred to the meeting of 5/7. On page 27, we have item 22, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 3326, Gabrielle Nguyen, requesting a conditional use to permit a single-family residence in the GPD General Plan Development District on Squares 128, lots 20 through 23, and 32 through 25, proposed lot 21A, Orleans Track in the 5th Municipal District, bounded by Van Buren Street, Jackson Street, Woodland Avenue, and Mummers Avenue. Municipal address 3803 through 3909 Van Buren Street. The recommendation of the CPC being for approval, subject to 3 provisos. We have motion M26-169 by Councilmember King, approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 3326, subject to 3 provisos by the City Planning Commission.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. CPC.
Yes, this is a corner lot, corner through lot located in English Turn. The site is currently undeveloped. It has a combined area of almost 20,000 square feet on which the applicant proposes to build a single-family residence. CPC has no objection to the request and recommends approval. However, the submitted plans show a deficient side yard setback, which can be brought into compliance following staff's recommended proviso.
Thank you. Make a motion to adopt. Second by Councilmember McCarron. 7 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
At the bottom of the page, item 24, zoning docket 3426 has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. At the top of page 29, we have item 25, zoning docket 3526 has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. On page 30, we have item 26, legislative group and ordinance calendar 34,385 has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7, along with motions lying over M23-426 and M23-427. On page 31, we have item 29, ordinance calendar 35,117 has been deferred to the meeting of 5/7. At the bottom of the page, item 30, ordinance calendar 35,401 by Councilmember Willard by request. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of New Orleans to enter into amendment number 1 to a cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of New Orleans and the Arts Council of New Orleans for a term greater than 1 year for the public purpose of promoting public art by establishing the procedure and funding for the execution and acquisition of works of art in the public place in the City of New Orleans as more fully detailed in amendment number 1 to the cooperative endeavor agreement form as Exhibit A and otherwise with respects thereto. Fiscal note was received.
Thank you. Council members, this ordinance just trues up the Arts Council budget allocation to 1.5% of the 2026 amended budget, which came in $75 million higher. So this increase is approximately $277,000. With that, I move to adopt. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. All in favor? Waiting on one more vote. 6 yeas, 0 nays. The motion is adopted.
We have item 32 on page 32. Ordinance calendar 35,403 by Councilmember Green by request. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the City of New Orleans to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement among the City of New Orleans and the New Orleans Recreational Development Commission and St. Augustine High School, Inc., New Orleans for a term greater than 1 year for the public purpose of supporting, promoting, stimulating public interest in and raising the distribution funds to benefit the construction, creation, preservation, and maintenance of public parks and playgrounds, recreational facilities, and recreational and other leisure programs and activities in the City of New Orleans as more fully detailed in the cooperative endeavor agreement as Exhibit A and otherwise to provide respects thereto.
I saw how excited Councilman King was when he heard the name St. Augustine High School mentioned. Thank you for that. No, this is an ordinance represents a very smart and practical partnership, and Mr. Barabino is here if you'd like to come forward for a second. This is a very important project. Through this agreement, St. Augustine High School will invest in, and that's money, and maintain Perry Rome Stadium, ensuring that it remains a quality space for student athletes and the broader community. And at the same time, the city retains ownership of Perry Rome Stadium and oversight, and the facility will continue to be available for NORD programming and other local schools. Mr. Barabino, for just a minute, could you explain to the public the significance of this development?
Sure. Good morning, council members. So basically what it is we're entering into a partnership with St. Augustine High School on facilities maintenance upkeep over at Perry Rome Baseball Stadium. Right now, the city is investing a little over $1.5 million into Perry Rome with a new turf infield, but also St. Augustine is investing $250,000 that's going toward the repairs and the renovations that's going on there as well. So they're putting their money where their mouth is. And so what it is they'll have access to practice there, but help NORD maintain it. But NORD still will be able to allow other high schools to use it, have access to it, as well as NORD running its Little League games and et cetera out of there. So this is one of the partnerships that we've been working on for about a year or two to make sure that it come to fruition. And as of right now, you know, Perry Rome is poised to be one of the city's top facilities with the renovations and repairs that's going on.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad that you're here because Perry Rome for a long time was not exactly what it is now.
Absolutely.
With that new turf and with the renovations and also with this management agreement, it is going to be one of the top facilities within the NORD portfolio relative to this stadium.
It will be, and so I am excited to see last year with investments that we made with the city and with the turf that came from the Super Bowl, we renovated all of NORD's baseball stadiums. All of NORD baseball stadiums throughout the city have infield turf, new scoreboards, and et cetera. So we're playing baseball at a higher level with our facilities citywide, and that's whether it's NORD, whether it's collegiate, as well as high schools.
Thank you very much. And I do want to say, obviously, I speak of St. Augustine High School often, but I want to say to the people who are watching from St. Augustine High School, amongst the many thousands that are watching, I just want to say to them, thank you for your investment of money.
Absolutely.
You're concerned about the entirety of the community. This is a great investment. And I thank you for your negotiations and the work that took place behind the scenes that people don't see that has resulted in a higher and better use of this facility.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So members, I've moved and Councilman King has seconded for approval of 35403. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas. The matter passes. Thank you. I'm going to ask Madam Clerk and Mr. Chair for a deferral of item number 33. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at it wrong on the calendar. No, let's move forward. I'm wrong.
Ready? Okay. At the top of page 33, item 33, ordinance calendar 35,404 by Councilmember Green by request. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of New Orleans to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of New Orleans and Steuben Water Board New Orleans for a term greater than 1 year for the public purpose of construction of the Dwyer Canal project and allowing public access and use of the project area following completion of the project in the city of New Orleans as more fully detailed in the CEA form as Exhibit A and otherwise provide respects thereto. Fiscal note was received.
This is an exciting project for not only the Pontchartrain Park community, but our city in terms of us living with water and turning certain thoroughfares and basins into areas that can hold water and reduce flooding in our city. This ordinance authorizes an agreement with the Steuben Water Board to move forward with the Dwyer Canal project, an important investment in both infrastructure and quality of life for all of our residents, including those in Pontchartrain Park and Gentilly Woods. The agreement allows the city to construct improvements along the Dwyer Canal corridor, and that corridor runs from Peoples, the railroad basically, to France Road, while the Sewage and Water Board provides access to the property and maintains critical drainage infrastructure. And upon completion, this project will not only strengthen stormwater management, as I mentioned, but it will also create accessible public space with trails, amenities, walkways for the entire community. If there are no comments, I will move for approval of 35404. We do have a card from Mr. Richard Corteza, who left, but he just expresses his support for this project. Thank you. Members, I've moved. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, the matter passes. Thank you for your support.
At the bottom of the page, item 34, ordinance calendar 35,414 by Councilmember Harris by request. An ordinance to authorize the mayor of the city of New Orleans to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement, lease of land and act of donation between the city of New Orleans and Mercy Partners LLC for the public purpose of constructing water retention infrastructure at the site formerly known as Lindy Boggs Medical Center for the benefit of the water, sewer, and drainage infrastructure for the city of New Orleans and in turn the health, welfare, and safety of the citizens in the city of New Orleans. and related activities as more fully detailed in the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement form as Exhibit A, the Lease of Land form as Exhibit B, and the Act of Donation form as Exhibit C, and otherwise to provide respects thereto.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. From early 2022, when I was first sworn into office, activating the former Lindy Boggs Hospital, now known as Mercy, has been a priority, and I'm thrilled to be here today moving forward a CEA that will finally bring the site back into commerce with commercial, residential, and incredibly innovative stormwater uses that benefit our entire city. We're talking about a location of blight, vandalism, and criminal activity, and a serious nuisance to Mid-City neighbors, despite many unsuccessful attempts to redevelop the property over the years. Now Mercy is moving forward with a transformative project with planned 200 housing units, retail, office space, and landscaping. Additionally, the basement that's been prone to flooding will be used for exactly that purposes, taking up 4 million gallons of stormwater and improving drainage in nearby neighborhoods by up to a foot. The CEA provides $11.5 million in bond funding, which will allow the demolition to take place through the end of this year, with construction starting in early 2027. This project was announced yesterday as part of the Mayor's 100-day wins, and I'm thrilled to announce that after working 4 years on this project, that it was featured in the Mayor's wins. Thank you to the Woodward Development Team, and I want to especially thank Jeff Schwartz, who is here today, for his work on this project. This is a great project that will really transform the Mid-City neighborhood, and I can't wait for more projects like this in the city of New Orleans. Jeff, do you have any comment? No? Come on, say something.
Thank you, Councilmember Harris, and all council members. I think you really covered it. This project is a singular project, and it's one that I know District B and the entire New Orleans community have waited to see for a very long time. As you said, it didn't happen overnight, but it's been amazing to see the momentum since inauguration, the administration and the council working really closely together. I know Allison Port on your team, and you did yeoman's work helping us get this introduced in time to be able to announce it for the 100 days, so I want to thank her and you as well. And yeah, this is a commitment that I know the entire council and the administration are making to invest precious resources to get a really salient and seminal project. As you noted, this is going to be an amazing above ground project, but it's what's happening below ground in building a 4 million gallon drainage project that will be integrated into the city's stormwater system that just makes this a real win-win-win. So just thank you for the collaboration. Here to answer any technical questions. I know there's counsel, Mr. Cortizes, representing the developers here as well. And just really excited to get to an actual demolition in short order.
Yeah, me too. And you're right. Thank you to Allison Port. Thank you to Liz Holman. Thank you to Dominique for all of their work on this project and getting it to the finish line. Councilmember McCarron.
I just want to say, since this is a stone's throw away from District A, I am also very excited for this day, and I know that we've been working on it even when I was staff here. So I would just like to request to be a co-author on here.
Okay, that's fine with me. All right, with that, any other comments? Any online comments? I'll move. Seconded by Councilmember McCarron. 6 yeas. Thank you, and thank you, Jeff.
At the top of page 35, we have item 37, motion line over M25-182 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. We have item 38, motion line over M25-183 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Item 39, motion line over M25-184 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. At the top of page 36, item 40, motion line over M25-186 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Item 41, motion line over M25-187 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Motion line over M25-189 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. At the top of page 37, item 43, motion line over M25-235 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Item 44, motion line over M25-236 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Item 45, motion M25-238 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. At the top of page 38, item 46, M25-239 has been deferred to the meeting of 6-4. Item 47, M25-288 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 48, M25-435 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4.
Come in and say something about that.
At the top of page 39, item 49, motion line over M2638 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 50, motion line over M2639 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 51, motion line over M2640 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. At the top of page 40, item 52, motion line over M2641 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 53, motion line over M2644 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 54, motion line over M2683 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. On page 41, item 55, motion line over M2684 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. Item 56, motion line over M26115 has been deferred to the meeting of 6/4. At the bottom of the page, item 57, resolution R26146 by council members Hughes, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, Harris, King, and Green, endorsing and supporting House Bill 573 by Representative Stephanie Helferty, together with any amendments consistent with its purpose of strengthening local accountability, modernizing governance, preserving legal and financial obligations, and improving service to the people of New Orleans.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Members, this does just that. This is a resolution in support of Representative Hilferty's legislation right now going through the process at the state capitol, which seeks to reform Sewage and Water Board and grant some much-needed oversight and accountability to the local legislative branch of government. I see the board is clear with that. I move adoption. Second by Council President Morrell. Please vote your machines. Vote your machines, members. Vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays.
On page 32, item 31, we have ordinance calendar 35402 by Councilmember Morrell by request. An ordinance to authorize the mayor of the city of New Orleans to enter into amendment number 1 to an existing cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of New Orleans and the New Orleans and Company for a continued distribution of short-term rental tax between the City of New Orleans and New Orleans and Company. Amendment number 1 to the Cooperative Endeavor Agreement will extend the CEA through December 31st, 2028, and update terms and provisions set in the original CEA and otherwise supervise respects thereto. Fiscal note was received.
Thank you. This extends the agreement through December 31st, 2028. It allows for a 4-year extension. Just to remind everyone who's watching, this maintains the revenue allocation of 25% to tourism promotion and 75% to the infrastructure and maintenance fund, the IMF. 25% of the money in the IMF goes to small drainage. I will move for adoption. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Hughes. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
At the top of page 34, we have item 35, legislative grouping, ordinance calendar 35,420 by Councilmember Morrell. An ordinance to amend and reordain section 10-107 of the Code of the City of New Orleans to clarify application requirements, provide timelines for granting applications, and provide for an appeal right and otherwise supervise respects thereto. Governmental Affairs Committee recommended approval. We have an amendment to the ordinance calendar 35,420, which is being withdrawn, and there is a substitute amendment. The substitute amendment to the ordinance calendar number 35,420 to clarify language, extend the length of the temporary permits, and to expand appeal rights and otherwise supervise respects thereto. We need a vote to receive the substitute amendment.
I'll move to receive. Second by Councilmember Harris. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays.
You need a vote to add it to the agenda.
I'll move to add. Second by Councilmember Harris. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays. It is added. Can we discuss now?
Yes.
All right, the substitute amendment. This matter was thoroughly covered in governmental affairs, including the content of this amendment was previously discussed. This amendment, temporary permits in the original legislation are now 90 days. They were previously 60. It clarified the zoning review for all temporary permits and licenses to occur within 10 days of submitting the application. It is now 5 calendar days for finance to issue an occupational license, previously 10. This now makes the entire permit process a maximum of 15 days. If the Department of Safety and Persons or Finance does not grant or approve the temporary permit or reject it within 15 days, it is automatically granted. It still requires councilmatic approval by council district before automatic grant. If the application is denied, applicant receives written reasons for the denial within 5 days. Applicant has 15 days to appeal the denial to the CAO or his designee if he disagrees with the department's decision. There are general changes to clarify wording. Mr. Will Dubose has a card. It's important, would like to speak. There are no other cards.
Thank you, Council President Morrell. I'll be brief. At its core, all we're trying to do is shift the culture of permitting from one rooted in skepticism to one grounded in hospitality, efficiency, and compliance. All we're trying to do is allow businesses to operate while their applications are pending, while still ensuring proper safeguards. Specifically want to thank some members of the administration, Mr. Ernest Leger, Directors Susanna Kirby and Mr. Austin Wiltie, and specifically Council President Morrell and his staff. Ms. Julia Zuckerman really saw the vision here and took it and helped us get this across the finish line after 2 years. So thank you all for your consideration. Appreciate it.
All right, with that, I will move. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember McCarron. Please vote your machines. 6 yeas, 7 yeas, no nays. Thank you very much. Adopted as amended.
That was on the amendment. We need to vote on the ordinance.
I'll move amendment as the ordinance as amended. Seconded by Councilmember Hughes. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays. The ordinance is adopted as amended.
At the top of page 42, we have Resolution R 26-155 by Councilmember Hughes, a resolution calling an election in the Lakewood East Security and Neighborhood Improvement District for November 3rd, 2026.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This does just that. This is a renewal with that. I'll move adoption. Second by Councilmember King. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays. Thank you.
Item 59, we have motion M26-167 by Councilmember Green, designating the intersection of Gentilly Boulevard and Allen Street as the Dr. S.C. Davenport honorary intersection pursuant to section 146-762 of the Code of the City of New Orleans.
Members, Dr. Davenport is not with us today, but he will be joining us on May the 7th. I'll tell you on May the 7th why we did it that way. But this motion honors Dr. S. Carver Davenport for more than 50 years of distinguished service as the director of the great concert choir of Dillard University. As the longest tenured historically black college and university choral director in the nation, Dr. Davenport has elevated the university's music program to national and international recognition. Through his leadership, mentorship, and artistry, he has shaped generations of students and left a lasting imprint on the cultural fabric of New Orleans. Designating the intersection of Gentilly Boulevard and Allen Street in his honor, near the campus where he built his legacy, ensures his contributions are permanently recognized. And on the 7th of May, members, if you are able to join me at 9:50, Dr. Davenport will be in the council chambers to be recognized and also to be informed that this has happened today. So I move for approval of motion 26-167, seconded by Councilmember Hughes. Members, please vote your machines. 7 yeas. I appreciate your support. See you on the 7th at 9:50 if you can make it.
Madam Clerk, before we grab this last item, recognizing Councilman King for a moment of personal privilege.
Thank you, Council President Morrell. At this time, I would like to recognize Pastor Berryhill and the pastors of the United Baptist Pastors Alliance of New Orleans and vicinity. So, Pastor Berryhill, you want to tap the mic for a couple seconds to say hello.
Hello, City Council. We're here on today just to see how the inner workings of our City Council does offer support, and to let you all know that we're praying for our city, and we believe that if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So we're here today to offer ourselves as the religious agents to be a part of what you all are doing. God bless you and God keep you is our prayer.
Thank you. Council members, any rebuttals? None?
Rebuttals. We're not going to rebut that. We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pastor.
All right, Madam Clerk, one more item.
At the bottom of the page, item 60, we have motion M26-174 by Council members Morrell and Hughes, extending the deadline for the City Planning Commission to consider text amendments as directed by motion M2662 to 6 months from the date of this motion.
Thank you. This is the extension for the City Planning Commission to consider text amendments regarding data centers. We have two people who would like to speak. We have Adler Rosenthal and Francois Beal. I'm probably mispronouncing that last name, but the students, I know they're students. I'm referring to their cars. It does not mention their occupation.
Hi, good morning. My name is Francois Beals, and I'm speaking today because I'm concerned about the impact that these AI data centers could have on communities like ours, and I've also been studying the impact that they can have on our environment. And while I understand that new technology can bring opportunities, I think it's more important to look at this environmental impact, especially since these data centers use a large amount of energy and require a large amount of water to cool down their systems. And especially in our city, that can put a lot of pressure on local resources and infrastructure, and it puts a strain on water supplies that we depend on every day. And there's also other environmental concerns, such as how carbon emissions and pollution of water from these data centers. And as a student, I care about the future of our city, and I want us to grow and succeed, but I'm also concerned about our future, and I hope you take the time to really consider the long-term effects that these data centers can have on our environment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Adler, and I'm a student working on a citizenship project about artificial intelligence, data centers, and their impact on jobs. As part of my research, I spoke with people around New Orleans about their work and how AI is affecting them. A consistent concern I heard was that while AI is more efficient and it's growing to be help people be more efficient, it's also creating a lot of uncertainty and reducing job stability, and also can potentially replace a lot of the workforce. I wanted to ask, how should the city decide when AI and data center growths are genuinely improving services and economic growth versus when they're replacing human labor in a way that could harm workers and weaken long-term economic stability? I'm asking because many people are not against innovation, but they are concerned about whether there are standards in place to make sure this progress benefits the community as a whole, not just efficiency, expansion, and cost reduction.
All right, Councilman Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. I just wanted to sincerely thank you both for being involved in this process, for coming and lending your voice today. It's critically important, and I will say this is very heavy work, but what gives me hope is when your generation shows up and speaks up. And I know that the future of our city is in really good hands. I know you said you had some research that you're doing a project. I certainly would love to see the results of it. Probably the entire council. But I just want you both to know how much I appreciate you all paying close attention. And this council certainly shares your concern. And that's why we're really trying to be thoughtful and take our time and learn and understand the research. But thank you so much for your partnership. Really means a lot.
Thank you so much.
Wait, one more, Councilmember Harris.
Just very quickly, McGee sits in my district, and I did receive your email yesterday, so thank you for that. As Councilmember Hughes said, I would love to see the research that you all come up with on data centers. I know that this is impactful not only for our generation, but your generation going forward. So thank you, and thank you to McGee for continuing to grow wonderful leaders like this. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. All right, I'll move to adopt. Second by Councilmember Hughes. Please vote your machines. 7 yeas, no nays. I believe we have a couple items under suspension, Madam Clerk.
Yes. We have motion M26-175 by Councilmember Harris by request adding the President of Council as a signatory to the contract between the City of New Orleans and the Louisiana Department of Health, STI, HIV, Hepatitis Program, and authorizing the President of Council to sign the contract between the City of New Orleans and Louisiana Department of Health, STI, HIV, Hepatitis Program as Exhibit A. We need the vote to suspend the rules to receive.
I've moved. Councilmember King has seconded. 7 yeas.
We need to vote to add.
I'll move. Council McCarron seconds. All in favor? 7 yeas.
You can discuss the matter.
Jeannie from the Health Department is here. Would you like to discuss what this is?
Thank you, members. Jeannie Donovan, Director of Public Health and Policy at the New Orleans Department of Health and Human Services. I've got our Program Manager, Vatsana Shantala, here over our HIV programs to share just a tiny bit about this grant and why it's so important that we move it forward quickly today.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. First, our office, we're a division of the New Orleans Health Department, and we provide HIV prevention and treatment-related services to citizens living in Orleans and 7 surrounding parishes. With this grant, it is focused on HIV prevention, and it is federally funded by the CDC. The state is a pass-through entity, and the contract would be effective September 1st and going all the way to August 31st, 2028 for approximately $2.7 million. The goal of the grant is to provide HIV prevention treatment-related activities, so that includes testing, engagement in care, and also prevention of new cases and addressing HIV stigma.
Thank you. Are there any questions from other council members? If not, I'll move to adopt. Seconded by Council President Morrell.
We need to suspend Rule 57 first.
Okay, well then I move to suspend. Council President seconds. All in favor? 7 yeas.
Now we can vote to adopt.
Thank you for keeping me in line. I'll move. Seconded by Council President Morrell. 7 yeas. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council members, we're going to go back to page 27. We have item 20, Legislative Group and Zoning Docket 3226, Orleans Parish School Board, requesting a zoning change from an MU1 medium intensity mixed use district and an SRD suburban 2-family residential district to an OSR regional open space district and a conditional use to permit a stadium on Lot Y on an undesignated square in the 3rd Municipal District bounded by Almanza Avenue, Higgins Boulevard, Metropolitan Street, and St. Ferdinand Street. Municipal address 4290 Almanza Avenue and 3059 Higgins Boulevard. The recommendation of the CPC being for approval subject to 4 provisos. We have motion M26-154 by Councilmember Green approving the applicant's request for zoning docket 3226 subject to 4 provisos and the CPC staff report.
Members, this is an exciting day. This is an exciting project for a community that has been long underserved, the Desire community, a historic community in our city. And I'm so pleased to represent that community as I see many positive developments taking place, including infrastructure investment. But maybe no infrastructure investment in that community that has taken place recently is going to be as significant as this: the building of the 9th Ward Stadium next to Carver High School. I'm just so honored to have an opportunity to present to you today this zoning docket, which reflects an important investment in youth, education, and community infrastructure. This request will allow the expansion of the George Washington Carver High School campus to include the Ninth Ward Stadium, which will not only serve the school, but students across the city. This project activates currently underutilized land, promotes public health and safety, and creates opportunity for youth athletics, community engagement, and economic activity. I strongly support this rebuilding community. I strongly support this particular project, this Ninth Ward Stadium. And I want to commend everyone who's been associated with this project in keeping it alive over the years. This is an example of the local, state, and federal branches of government and the private sector coming together to do something that is very good in a community that is very much in need but is moving in the right direction. When Mr. Arnie Fielkow comes in, members, I'm going to ask for a moment of personal privilege to allow him to just come to the mic to say something, because he has been a catalyst behind keeping this project alive and putting together the funding, the zoning, and other support that makes it happen. So with this, I move on approval of motion M-26-154, the establishment of the zoning that allows for the George Washington Carver High School Ninth Ward Stadium. I move. Seconded by Council Vice President Willard. Members, I ask you to vote your machine, and I thank you. 7 yeas, no nays. I thank you for your support. Years from now, when we look at this date, we'll remember that we made it possible for this project to stimulate growth and development in the desired community. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, we're going to do first reads before special orders. So
You can make a
I
vote
will
on
move for first reads. Second by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? 7 yeas, no nays. First reads, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance is on first reads. Ordinance calendar number 35,423. Ordinance is on first reads. Ordinance calendar number 35,423 by Councilmember Harris by request. An ordinance to amend and reordain sections 70-84 and 70-87 of the Code of the City of New Orleans relative to budget reporting requirements and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Ordinance calendar number 35,424 by Councilmember McCarron. An ordinance to rename a portion of West Robert E. Lee Boulevard, bounded by Hammond Highway, Regent Street, and Pontchartrain Boulevard to Zephyr Court, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Ordinance calendar number 35,425 by Councilmembers Morrell and Harris by request. An ordinance to amend and reordain sections of chapters 66 and 154 of the Code of the City of New Orleans to transfer parking and towing enforcement from the Department of Public Works to the Department of Police, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Ordinance calendar number 35,426 by Council Members Harris, Morrell, Willard, McCarron, King, Green, and Hughes by request. An ordinance to authorize New Orleans Building Corporations, subject to NOBC Board of Directors approval, to sell its right to receive certain payments under the second amended and restated lease agreement dated April 3rd, 2020, by and between NOBC as landlord, Jazz Casino Company LLC as tenant, and the city as intervenor, to a newly formed entity arranged for and financed by TPG Angelo Gordon or one of its affiliates or designated funds for a lump sum payment at closing of at least $100 million, the minimum purchase price, to authorize the mayor of the city of New Orleans at the president of the city council as necessary or appropriate to execute and deliver an intercediary agreement between the city of New Orleans and the purchaser pursuant to which the city will agree to subordinate its right to receive certain other amounts payable under the lease under certain circumstances, to authorize the mayor of the city of New Orleans and the president of the city council as necessary or appropriate to execute and deliver on behalf of the city of New Orleans such other documents as may be necessary or appropriate to effectuate the sale by NOBC and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Ordinance calendar number 35,427 by Councilmember King by request. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of New Orleans to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement among the city of New Orleans, the New Orleans Recreation Development Commission, and Friends of Inspired NOLA for a term greater than 1 year for the public purpose of supporting, promoting, stimulating public interest in, and raising and distributing funds to benefit the construction, creation, preservation, and maintenance of public parks and playgrounds, recreational facilities, and recreational and other leisure programs and activities in the city of New Orleans is more fully detailed in the cooperative endeavor agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. That concludes the ordinances on first reading. We only have 5.
No, we got Public Works and Police.
And this.
That's a core. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, you got it.
I just read it. All right. Are we ready for special orders? All right.
Let's. Bazir? Mr. Philco's here, I said, so you can give us, I know that Mr. Green wanted to give him personal privilege to make some comments on the Ninth Ward Stadium that we already passed. You saw him in the back? You just walked out? Okay, well. All right. Leslie, are you doing you're doing Sexual Assault Awareness Month, right? Are they here yet? Okay. Why don't we go at ease for 15 minutes? Because I know some people were told. Xavier's here? Okay. All righty.
Paperwork's coming though. Okay. Yeah, as long as we're ready to go. Liz is gonna get Russ the paperwork. Oh, that was the time, the one day, Drew was looking for. No. Thank you for being flexible.
Mr. Chair, and members of the council, I'm pleased to introduce former council member at large, Mr. Arnie Philco. Mr. Philco, just for a second, but to the members of the public and to the council, I just want to say how appreciative I am for your work in the Desire community, making sure that this Ninth Ward Stadium happens. It's not only benefit to that community, it's benefit to Carver High School, the students there, and to students throughout the nation. Throughout the city. And there may be some people playing from other places. But the most important thing is that you stayed with this project when it looked like it wasn't going to happen. You worked with local, state, and federal officials to identify monies with agencies such as the school board and the city of New Orleans. And what we did today was somewhat historic and so very important, because I'm calling this one of the major transformative projects to hit the Desire community in the last couple of decades. A community that was devastated by Hurricane Katrina, as we know, but it is on the rebound. Part of the reason that it's on the rebound is because of your efforts and the efforts of those who want to see something done in that historic community that enhances it. So I just want to tell you that the council voted unanimously today to support the zoning that is necessary to make this project happen. But I appreciate the fact that you came today, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to say something, but for us to say thank you to you.
Thank you, Councilman. I very much appreciate it, and thank you to the entire City Council. First of all, it's nice to be back in chambers, and congratulations to all of you and your great leadership. I'm here to tell you the project is a go. We have, after 17 years, and my group has been involved for 8 years, We have now secured the necessary funding. We've raised a little bit over $15 million on what we originally thought was about a $5 million project, escalated quite quickly. We are so excited for the community, for the youth, for Carver, but for everyone in New Orleans, because this will be a complex that will be available to every public high school and middle school in New Orleans, and something very much needed. We hope to break ground in early June. We are awaiting contract finalization on the project. We have 2 private sector naming rights partners that have orally accepted, and we're working on the contracts now. Those contracts have to be approved by the Orleans Parish School Board in the month of May. But we, unless there's anything that we're not expecting, we should be able to break ground in early June. It's a 12 to 13 month build. We're hoping to open the stadium in the summer of 2027 and be ready for the football season of 27. We'll be able to play football, soccer, boys and girls soccer, some other emerging sports, flag football, lacrosse, that are coming into our community. And we're just so excited. I can't even tell you. It's been a labor of love for myself and our entire board of directors. And lastly, I'll say this. We've raised the money to build this, I think one-of-a-kind stadium, but we haven't given up on a priority 2 project, which is to build a track and field venue right next to it, something even more needed in our community. We've got to raise the money for that. I have pledged that myself and our company, our corporation, is going to spend the next year trying to raise the extra $5 million or so to be able to build that track and field. And if we do, this will be truly the nicest athletic facility, I believe, in all of New Orleans. So again, we couldn't have done this without all of you. This is a very unique project in that we have both federal, state, city, and private sector funding. I'm not sure I know of many projects like that. And again, just a hearty thanks to each and every one of you for believing in us, believing in this project, and most importantly, believing in our kids. Look forward to seeing you all at groundbreaking, and then obviously ribbon cutting a year later, and let's get this thing opening. And council member, thank you for your incredible leadership. You have been part of this from day one, and without your commitment and perseverance, we couldn't have moved to today. So thank you, Councilmember Green, so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Fiocco. Really appreciate your support, and that community is talking about this development.
Yes.
Very honestly, you've seen the turnout at the public meetings, for example, and there's just a lot more going on too.
Yes.
Carver High School is so deserving. It is a great institution moving in a positive way. I'm going to point out that it's also the school from which our council president's father graduated and my parents taught. It's a historic institution. It's a very important part of a pillar of that community. So this is just a win-win across the board. So I thank you very much for taking the time and spending it over these past 8 years to get us to the point where we are now, and certainly looking forward to the next 13 months.
It's my pleasure. And just one more thing, Councilmember, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Mayor Moreno. When she was on the council and since she's been mayor, she's been incredibly supportive of this project. And again, a big kudos to her and all of you for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Members, anybody wish to say anything? No. Okay. All righty. Thank you. Cheerleader.
Council President, I believe that Xavier cheer team is here.
All right, Madam Clerk, that will be item number 2.
Second order of business, Xavier University cheer team, Coach Glenn Carey Rhodes and Keyshawn Egger. The Xavier University of Louisiana cheer team claimed the 2026 NAIA National Championship with a standout performance at the national competition held March 27 through 28 at the Storm Mount Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas. The victory marks Xavier's second NAIA national title in the past 4 years and a return to the top following consecutive runner-up finishes in 24 and 2025. The team also earned a national title at the NCAA Championship in 2024, further solidifying its place among the nation's elite cheer programs.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We're so excited to have you here. President Verrett, would you like to introduce yourself, and then could each of the members of the team introduce themselves?
I am Reynold Verrett, President of Xavier University of Louisiana, and we're very, very happy to be here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Hi, my name is Dylan Saunier. I'm a junior at Xavier.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Richards. I'm a junior at Xavier.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Allen, and I'm a junior at Xavier also.
Hi, my name is Jordan Brown, and I'm a sophomore at Xavier.
Hi, my name is Kayla Dye, and I'm a freshman at Xavier.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Taylor, and I'm a freshman.
My name is Cameron Spee, and I'm a junior.
Good morning, my name is Caleb Merkson, and I'm a freshman at Xavier.
Y'all need to use your cheer voices. Come on.
We can. Hi, my name is Brittany Dixon. I'm assistant coach at Xavier. Hello, my name is Trey Bird, and I'm a freshman at Xavier.
Hello, my name is Anthony Glay, and I'm a sophomore at Xavier.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I am so proud to recognize today the Xavier University of Louisiana cheer team on winning the 2026 NAIA National Championship. I saw everything on YouTube, and you were remarkable and fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is a fabulous achievement, but not their first one. This is their second national title in 4 years. That is not luck. That is a program that has built a culture of discipline, teamwork, and competitive excellence that is producing results at the highest level of collegiate competition. They represented New Orleans on a national stage, and they won. Xavier University holds a special place in this community as an HBCU and a pillar of New Orleans for over a century. Xavier continues to develop extraordinary young people who go on to make us proud in classrooms, in their career, and now on the national competition floor. To the athletes, to the coaches, parents, and everyone who supported this program, your hard work, sacrifice, and your commitment to being the best did not go unnoticed. This council and the city celebrates you today, and we are honored to formally recognize your achievement today. So I want to thank you all for being here. If you want to do a little cheer, that'd be great.
Thank you for having us. What cheer y'all want to do?
So, hi, I'm Glenn Caston. I'm the head cheer coach of Xavier University of Louisiana's competitive cheer program. And so we have a couple gifts that we would like to present to you, Councilwoman.
Oh, thank you.
Harris. And we are extremely ecstatic to represent our city and the state of Louisiana on all of our national platforms. We are proud to be conference champs as well. And today we have some distinguished people here. We had 10 All-American cheerleaders on our program this year.
Amazing.
And sitting at the platform today is Kelsey Allen. She was voted as NAIA Cheerleader of the Year as well.
Amazing.
And they're scholar athletes. Many of them aren't here. The rest of the team, they're taking finals. This is our last stretch. But this small collective of us, we're so happy to come and represent the entire team.
We're so happy to have you here. Any council members want to say anything? Councilmember Green.
You just assumed that I wanted to say something.
Yes, I know you wanted
That's a good thing. My claim to fame, everyone, with Xavier University is my father earned his master's degree in education from Xavier, and my brother's a graduate, a computer science graduate. So when I look at Xavier and I see you all, I'm doubly proud because obviously my family is well represented. But I want to congratulate you all because you all represent the spirit of Xavier University, a great institution that's doing so much in our city and being represented throughout the entire nation. But congratulations, second in a row. Can you imagine how difficult that is? Because everybody was gunning to take out the champions, and you all were able to continue the good work and achieve that championship. So I'm just honored as someone who has deep ties to the great university. I'm honored as a New Orleanian who enjoys our city of New Orleans, and I'm honored because I have a chance to see, and this is a special day for me for a variety of reasons. I see more young people doing great things in our city. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to NAIA Championship number 3 next year.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Council President Morrell.
I mean, since Eugene spoke, I guess.
I know, we all got to talk.
Well, I mean, my claim to fame with Xavier is that Norman Francis was my neighbor. My other claim to fame is I went to Spring Hill College, which y'all beat at everything. That's about my extent. I mean, Xavier obviously is a cornerstone of our community, is a pillar of the city of New Orleans. We appreciate everything you do representing us and representing us well, and we are so excited for your victory.
Thank you. And Councilmember Willard?
Thank you, Councilmember Harris. Congratulations. Very excited for this championship. Like Councilmember Green said, we're hoping for a three-peat. It's always exciting and just proud to be a New Orleanian whenever we get put on the map. And you guys are certainly doing that for everybody in the city of New Orleans, bringing home cheer competitions year after year. We're just ecstatic for it. We want to support you. We want to see you continue succeeding. And we wish you the best in your educational endeavors as well. So thank y'all for coming down to City Council today.
Thank you. Councilmember King.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say congratulations, Coach. Congratulations on a second national championship. And all the coaches, you too, Dr. Verrett, but mainly to the students. I know it can be very difficult being a college student athlete, especially with the high academic requirements that it takes to be a student at Xavier. It's not an easy feat. And to do that and be a national championship is something very, very special. So congratulations on your second national championship. Look forward to many, many more. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McCarron.
Yes, congratulations to you all. I know this is a highly competitive sport, so this is fantastic for you guys. Great job on your second one. And like Councilmember Willard said, we're hoping for a three-peat next year. Congrats again, y'all.
Thank you. We have a proclamation to present, and the council members will come down and take photos. Who's the flyer of the group? All right, come on down.
Yes, right there, they're gonna come around.
Picture.
Sorry. Come on.
What we gonna do?
All right, we're going to have our next order of business, recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We're going to have our next order of business.
First order of business, presentation, Health Department recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Anyone else coming?
Peer support.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Jenga.
Deputy Superintendent, you coming as well?
What is the other game? Tetris.
Consider support. All right. Well, introduce yourselves and the floor is yours.
All right, good morning, Council. My name is Dr. Jordan Petalino. I work for the City of New Orleans Health Department, other known as New Orleans Health and Human Services. I'm accompanied this morning by, I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Good morning, I'm Sydney Wood. I work for the New Orleans Child Advocacy Center, also known as the Morgan Ray Center for Hope, as the Human Trafficking Care Coordinator.
Good morning, all. Alex Tarnowski. I am Director of Survivor Services for STAR, Sexual Trauma Awareness and Response.
New Orleans Health Department, I am the engagement liaison.
What's your name?
My name is Latina Jalavat.
Thank you. So thank you all for allowing us to come here this morning and talk about this critical issue. Right now, someone in the city of New Orleans is deciding whether or not they should tell someone about a sexual assault. Not whether to report, not whether to go to court, but whether they feel safe enough to tell someone. And so that just isn't about sexual assault awareness, but it's about whether people in New Orleans feel safe and feel like they will be helped and believed to come forward. So this month is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Crescent City Courage is a citywide unified sexual assaults initiative. And so we developed our committee back in 2024. It was developed out of a previously fragmented Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we wanted a month of cohesive events, calendar, and we didn't want overlapping events or inconsistent messaging. And so what we did was gather a whole bunch of partners. These are our partners. You can see them here. Each one of these places is either a phone call, a hospital room, a courtroom, a police station, a shelter. Every part of the system works together so that survivors can feel comforted and trusted. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our partners behind me. If you're a partner of Crescent City Courage, could you please stand up? So as you can tell, we have a whole lot of partners. We've been working tirelessly every month. We have decided to take this committee a little bit further. So originally we were just a calendar of events. We were a place where we did movie screenings and workshops and public events. And then we took it a step further this last year and we've begun to partner with nightlife establishments. We've begun to outreach to do trainings at other places. We've decided to start talking about sexual violence at a larger scale. So I just wanted to put this up so you could see how hard that we've worked this month for April. We had events all month long. We launched Teal Tuesdays where you wear teal every Tuesday. And we've outreached to the public via social media, emails, other organizations to try to get everyone on board to show their support for sexual violence. I want to challenge something that most people think that they understand. Sexual violence is not about sex, it's about power and control. It's about taking something from someone that no one should take. And that's why it doesn't always look like what people expect, right? It can happen without force, it can happen with force, it can happen with or without a weapon, it can happen in relationships, in homes, in places that people feel safe. And that's exactly why it's missed, and that's why it's not talked about so widely, and it's minimized and it's misunderstood. And so when we respond, we are not just responding to an incident, We're responding to people in our community in the city of New Orleans. So I'm going to say these numbers, right? And I don't want you to look at them as numbers. I ask you to look at these as individual people. So 1 in 3 women, 1 in 4 men, that's not a statistic. That's people in this room right here. We all have been affected by sexual violence in some shape or form. This is your staff. This is your family. And here's what should stop us in our tracks, right? Most of the time, the people who are assaulted by someone that they know. This isn't a stranger problem. This is not a bad neighborhood problem. This is a human problem, and it's a systems problem. And so we're trying to work to make sure that our systems can work better for the people in our community. So here's just a couple of numbers from 2025. 436 times someone walked into a hospital needing answers and care. 687 times someone made the decision to report to law enforcement knowing how hard that process would be. 303 survivors were served and reached out for help from an agency, and that turned into nearly 6,000 moments of support. But what you don't see on this slide, right, is the people who never came forward. We know that sexual violence is one of the most, if not the most, underreported crime out there. And so the ones who didn't think that they would be believed, the ones that didn't feel comfortable, those are the ones that were missing from this picture. A little bit about New Orleans Health Department sexual assault program. So we started the sexual assault program with the health department 3 years ago. I was brought on to strengthen the sexual assault program after the domestic violence one had been developed and been really implemented for a long time. And so we have a whole bunch of initiatives. We at the health department would like to be the contact for sexual violence. We run the Sexual Violence Advisory Response Committee. We look at different campuses. We have campus meetings. We have action coalitions. We train the health department. Last year alone, we trained every sworn officer in NOPD on sexual violence. We have trained criminal court judges. We've worked on legislation. And so when we talk about improving systems, the health department is really trying to play their part here. I wanted to talk a little about our sexual assault response team meetings. So that is coordinated by the health department. However, we meet with the DA's office, NOPD, advocacy organizations, UMC, LSP, whole bunch of people in the room, and we talk about cases. And so last year alone, we had 11 meetings where we discussed 94 cases. Those cases can be referred by NOPD, UMC, anyone who feels there's a case that needs attention can bring it to the attention of us. What I wanted to show you is that a significant portion of these cases involved mental health, housing instability, and delayed reporting. And what we know is that we do not, as a team, have the means to meet these needs. We are struggling to meet the needs of the mentally ill, of the developmentally delayed, of the people who do not have housing stability. And so as a result, cases require more coordination, more time, and more resources than what we currently have available. And so some of our future priorities as the health department, as Crescent City Courage, as a SART team, we want more data first. We do not want the numbers, but we want to see who is missing. We know that we are letting people slip through these cracks, and then we want flexible funding to reach those who are missing. We want to be able to put someone in a pinch in a hotel room for the night for their safety. We want to be able to give them gas money or a gas card to get them across state lines. We need continued advocacy for these people who cannot advocate for themselves. And so I always like to come to City Council with a little what you can do, because I think that's important. Leadership, right, you all know, is not about recognizing problems. It's about deciding to do something with them and to act on them. And so there are things that we would love to ask of you. First, strengthening that data sharing infrastructure. Right now, there is not much data sharing amongst all the agencies. And so we want the support to be able to share the numbers with each other openly and see who's families missing. We want to have funding to reach underserved populations and people who are unable to advocate for themselves. We want to advance policies to support survivors. We want to partner with you. We would love for you to show up at one of our April events or one of our fall events that we host. We want you to use your platform to elevate. We can only reach so many people, and we need your help to reach the others. We also just want to work on stabilizing the system. We have a system, and I really, being in this work in New Orleans for 10 plus years, I've seen it grow, and there's been so much growth, but we still have a long, long way to go, and we just want your support to do that. I just wanted to put some resources up here. These numbers save lives, these places save lives, and these people are there to help survivors in need, so I wanted to put those. And then I just want to say thank you. Crescent City Courage, the health department, the SART team, myself, we all thank you for taking a few moments to recognize this as an issue, as a public health crisis. And we would love it if you could help spread the word. And so I put some QR codes for you to take out your phone if you'd like, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook and to share that. And I really appreciate your time, and we'd love it if you have any feedback or questions.
All right, thank you for your presentation. Thank you. I want to follow the same order and start with Councilmember Green for any comments from the dead.
Thank you for your presentation, and I thank everyone who is here today. I certainly hear your concerns relative to communication, and we should do everything that we can to share information. This week is actually National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and I'm a founder of an organization called Voices of the Victims of Crime, and I want to say to anyone who's hesitant to report that you've been assaulted, please don't hesitate. I have confidence in the members of our New Orleans Police Department. Our chief is here today, but the experience that I've had in referring folks who have concerns to the police has been a favorable one. But it's important to recognize that we have to report so that there can be action on the part of the law enforcement community. And I know how hard it is, but I just want to emphasize that. I want to also emphasize that during this week, there were a number of organizations that are part of National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Those organizations, for example, gather tomorrow at 5:30 at Bayou St. John, and if you've been the victim or a family member or a supporter of somebody who's been a victim of crime, I want to encourage you to participate tomorrow at 5:30. But the most important thing about this week, it reminds us that every day we ought to be concerned, we must be concerned about the victims. The reason our criminal justice system must be enhanced and must work better is to prevent people from being victims, but if they've been victims, providing them with the maximum support. So I thank you for the work that you're doing. I thank Councilman King for recognizing Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but I wanted to let you know that there are many people out there who are concerned, who are working with those who have been victimized, who are sympathetic too. If there's anything that I can do to help, feel free to call my office. But the main thing is, I want you to have confidence in the New Orleans Police Department. There are some things that aren't getting done that need to get done relative to kits, sexual assault kits and the like. But the bottom line is that we have to report. We have to report more. So anything that I can do to help, I appreciate it. And thank you for your presentation and for everyone who's here in support of those who have been victimized and who deserve to have the maximum support of government and of society. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out this morning, and thank you for everything that you do. I worked a lot on these issues in the state legislature, and certainly looking forward to continue some of that work here in the city of New Orleans. We all have a role to play. Thank you for using your voices. Thank you for showing up and speaking out. And please consider this city council as a partner to enable the work that you do to protect all of the victims in our city. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Councilmember Harris.
Well, you all know that I'm a huge supporter of the cause and your work with survivors, not only women, but men as well. And I just want to say thank you for that, and thank you for your continued work. On a fun note, I get to MC the fashion show on the 29th, and I'm really excited about that. So I will be wearing my teal and doing my best RuPaul's Drag Race impersonation. But, you know, keep up the good work. I did try to just do the Instagram. It's not pulling up. It might be City Hall lack of internet, but I will try again and I'll come see you after this. But thank you, everyone, all the organizations for everything that you do. It's really appreciated, and we as a council need to do more, including getting our DNA lab up and running.
Councilmember McCarron.
Thank you all for being here today and for your presentation, and thank you for the coordination that you all provide. I know that's something that is not easy to do, to coordinate all of these different efforts and needs of victims, so I appreciate that work. I know it's very much needed, and we look forward to being a partner here on the council and you know, helping you all as we need to. So again, appreciate you all being here today and for the presentation, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Lastly, I want to thank you all for work that you do all throughout the year. Those numbers you presented were alarming, but they're sad, but however they are true. And it takes everyone's commitment in this room, throughout the city, throughout the world actually, to bring those numbers down, all of them down to zero. And I appreciate all the work that you do once again, and you have my commitment and everyone else on this day's commitment to making the place, this city, better for our sexual assault victims, so there will be none in the future. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
With that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Second by Councilmember Harris. All in favor? Aye. 5 yeas, no nays. Means adjourned. Thank you.